Well, hello. While in the background, I'm gonna be fishing, so I calm down a little bit. This is not gonna be a Lost Ark video. So as I alluded to it earlier during the past few days, things are not great. We could say that things are pretty awful, pretty terrible. And tomorrow is gonna be the day when I find out if it's gonna be an absolutely unmitigated disaster, or if there is some tiny way forward, or like a little gap on a window or something. And I don't even. It's like I'm not gonna talk about what's happening if it's worst case scenario, because I have no idea. I don't know. It's just all darkness in front of me, and I've been freaking out, and just all around not feeling great about the situation, obviously. But let's say that it's not the absolute worst case scenario. Even then, there has to be some major changes, and obviously this is not something that I've been thinking about for the first time, right? And and it's not like I haven't changed, or I haven't improved or moved forward in certain ways, but it is very slow. It is slower than what the situation allows. So yeah, like the current situation is just me not dealing with something like way back, and just letting it ferment, just pile up in the background. So that's how I got here. But at this point, it's not much use to ponder about how I got here, or what's gonna what led me to this point, because the situation is what it is. But as you have also seen, as the past year of videos basically tells you, that I've been playing a lot of let's say time wasting games, or games that can eat you eat up as much of your time as you basically want, or as much as you play them. It's like the infinite playtime games basically, because you can always just play more. By that I'm mainly talking about, I guess, all of the games, because Hearthstone you can always queue another game, even though that was only for like a little bit. ARPGs, Path of Exile, you can play Infinite, Torchlight Infinite. It's even in the name, you can play Infinite. And then I hopped back into Lost Ark, which is again. Oh, I shouldn't have thrown the net, by the way, because now the buff is gonna run out. Anyway, even Lost Ark is, in one way, like once you're caught up, and all you're focusing is the raids, then obviously it's like time gated, and everyone does their homework. But anyway, the main appeal for me, obviously raids are great and everything, but there's also just the horizontal running around collecting stuff, or running around hitting the same mobs for hours just to get you know point something percent drop rate ingredient for collectible. And those are also things that I just find comfort in them, but at the same time they are taking up time, and that time could be used elsewhere, could be used differently, could be used to improve many aspects of my life. And obviously there's like a connection to the situation, like there is some aspect of maybe another way of repressing myself, because even if I get somewhere, even if I move forward, it's all gonna be taken away due to the situation. But obviously this is something that is like only like a thought experiment kind of thing. Like, oh, why did it turn out like this? But there's also how, even though you know that, like, you know what is like physically possible, you know, in the realm of possibility, but there's also, yeah, like your own experiences and the experiences of those around you or like those closest to you, and obviously, like, it's not news to anyone if you say that, you know, things are just like all around. There's a bunch of things that are, you know, bad, or things are going wrong in many ways in the world, and then obviously everyone has their own you know, why it is happening, what is exactly that terrible thing that is happening. Like, obviously that's not gonna it's not gonna be something that you have to convince anyone of, because like everyone knows that in many ways things are not going great, to put it mildly. But at the same time, there's also the possibilities that you have actually lived. Like, for example, you see that, okay, if you have an opportunity, then can you actually take advantage of that opportunity, or grab that opportunity, or is that opportunity something that only exists for other people? And I found, like, even if I see that it is theoretically possible, I have no experience of it actually being realized, even if those opportunities exist, if they are there. As if, you know, those opportunities are not for me. And yeah, so I've been very, very slowly, very at a very glacial pace. I've been, you know, getting better, I guess. Like you could say that more on like on a mental level, getting better. But at the same time, time time doesn't wait for anyone, and even just me having the privilege of that, I wouldn't. So the thing is, I wouldn't necessarily call it wasting time if I could look at it from like a purely personal perspective. You know, but there are, you know, circumstances that don't necessarily care about how you are fine with, you know, spending I don't know how many months grinding for, you know, virtual items and then doing it again in the next season, or like running around and collecting collectibles that has a chance of dropping another collectible that you can use to have a chance of crafting another collectible, and then you put it into the adventure tome, for example, and then, okay, one is down, go to the next one, that kind of stuff. And also at some point I wanted to go ahead and just, you know, go and collect the Mokokos here. As you can see, the Mokokos are pretty low on my, as you can see, I'm only at 50%. And also I'm here, I'm fishing, even though I know it doesn't matter to anyone really. But the last leaf is in here somewhere in the water. But like I said, this is not something that actually matters in any way. You look at the actual reality of things. So yeah, if I think that things have to change anyway, then there is really no good reason to start that change now. But I guess I'm too overwhelmed with the situation. That's one. But also, I kind of like, I like doing these things. So it's not even really about doing things that I actually don't like. It's just I like them, but there are, you know, things that are more important, or things that I like even more. So I've been basically always looking for, you know, reason to hold on, reason to, you know, stick around. That kind of stuff. And there are, you know, reasons. But I suppose I haven't made nearly as much of an improvement than I should have. Yeah, and eventually things that you've put off, they catch up to you. That's just how things work. But ever since I found myself in this situation, I've also felt even more clearly and even more intensely how much I actually enjoy the things that I enjoy. So, but regardless, the time is, as everyone knows, is limited. So even if things don't go, you know, worst case scenario, I will have to really decide what is the most important to me and focus on that 100% or above 100%. And I have to find it in myself that things are that I like kind of enjoy and I like passing the time with. I have to cut back on those, and I have to accept the situation that I cannot physically do everything that I want to do and still make the, you know, changes and decisions that have to be made. And that is like a big, you know, elephant in the room that is also pertaining to the games that I was talking about, is efficiency. Because as you can know from, again, all the videos, that I'm not a very, you know, efficient person in these games. But I guess I'm not an efficient person in general. So to actually, you know, stick around and be able to still experience these things and actually play these games, I have to be a lot more efficient if I actually wanna get to the same content or point, basically. Or like if obviously we bring in TFT, because TFT is the one that I actually even with a very low amount of success, it was the one that I actually, you know, competed in over the years. And that as well, efficiency also means not, you know, playing the extra 15 or 100 games and, you know, losing some, winning some, losing some, and not getting anywhere, but be a lot more you know, mindful of my time and mindful of my efforts. And I just, at the same time, I need to put in a lot more effort into everything, basically. That's just how it is. Otherwise there's no way out. I say that as I am fishing in the game. But even then, there still has a place. Like, you still have, even if things are very bad, you still have things that you find enjoyment in. Even if it's pretty muted, that enjoyment at the moment. But yeah, this situation forces me. I guess I shouldn't, you know, speak generally. It's very, you know, concrete and very personal situation. So I am forced to face the circumstances that I am in, that I have, you know, put myself into, or I guess I have let things deteriorate to this point. And obviously there's also regrets about not being able to put out what I actually wanted to put out into YouTube, into the videos. Because you think that you can be, you know, straightforward. You can cut the extra filters that you have on by default, and just actually say what you want to say. Talk about what actually is inside your head. But then by the time you actually get to putting it down onto the table, then by that time it's very easy to get to the point where it's I'm just gonna put something that is, you know, very inoffensive and controversial. I mean, I'm definitely not saying that that is the issue, that I have some, you know, some crazy takes or whatever. But I think everyone is, you know, seeing some value in themselves that others do not see. I think everyone struggles with. I mean, and maybe not struggle, like, you know, some people have more success with it, some people not as much. To try and show what they think they have in themselves to other people. So yeah, but I think this is generally, and I'm like, I know it's like, it's much easier if I, you know, say concrete things and I just allude to everything. But I don't know if that's, you know, if it's a good idea in general to do that. But yeah, I've tried, and I'm very slow. I'm a very slow person, I suppose. It's not that I enjoy being slow. It's more like, you know, just being so dizzy, confused, like all the thoughts circling around, keep breaking down everything. I don't know. I'm always thinking, you know, like, is it like this for everyone? Is this how the inside of everyone's head is like? And am I just, you know, really bad at being a human, being a person? Or is it, you know, is it really just this confusing and this hard for everyone, and everyone is just, you know, better at dealing with it? Am I just weak or stupid, or both? Yeah. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep this until we find the leaf. Yeah, it's fishing. I don't know why is it so hard to find the last leaf, by the way. And I couldn't do it without leaf essence, by the way, because it's just too slow. Although I don't know if, like, leaf essence does anything for finding the leaf faster. There's no reward or anything to find the last leaf. It's just something to do while I talk, I suppose. So yeah, I say that I have to radically change my life and change my behavior. And all I guess what I actually have to lean back on is this these feelings, these experiences that I have right now, and this sort of fear. I guess that has to be the motivating factor. But okay, that's not entirely true, because obviously the motivating factor could also be the, you know, potential good outcomes, or you know, you might try what you you might try something and it might succeed. But I don't really feel that because I've rarely experienced success is the thing. So I don't know. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. And that is all with being given very good cards by life overall. I think like obviously there are good things and bad things, but I'm thinking like with these you know scenarios that I've had, that I've went through in my life, I can't help but think that most people would have done better with this. But there's like also the aspect of what is in my head or on anyone else's head. Like how much is that a good thing and a bad thing? Like I'm not gonna say that it's all bad. You know, I'm sure there are good things as well, and I even personally think that there are. But if no one else really gets to see it, then I don't know how much of that matters, to be honest. So yeah, I'm seeing things very bleak at the moment, and I don't know if I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna be from this point over. I don't know how tomorrow is gonna go. I don't know. I really don't know anything. And like these are the times, these are the moments where like when like having some faith, having some belief in something, someone would be useful. You know, like if I could just have faith, and everything is gonna work out somehow. Obviously not without my input and not without my effort, but that at least there is a way. There is a way forward, even if it's gonna be something that I will not like at all. But having some way forward is better than no way at all. And also there is the saying, right? Like while there is life, there is hope. And I suppose that is true. And I've been trying to not close out the good. It's just very, the situation is intense, so it it kind of covers everything, to be honest. But there were some, very very fun times, especially because it was like coinciding with Halloween. Halloween, that was a Bibu 3D Live. That was great. There's the Justice board games thing going on. That is nice. There are lots of things that I'm looking forward to in that space, but like I said, I don't really know how it's gonna be, if I'm even gonna be in a position where I could keep looking forward to those things. Yeah, I don't know. I really hope I can make it through this without losing everything. Yeah, I don't know how long I've been going. 25 minutes. I don't know how feasible it is to keep going until I find a leaf. But yeah, about fate, it's not that I don't have, faith in people, but I don't, I haven't, like, even if I have, like, let's say faith in karma or that kind of stuff, I just haven't done enough good to, you know, You have like even if I have faith, I don't think that that is gonna help me out. No. You know how when someone else has a bad situation, you try to be supportive, but when it's your turn, then you're like, oh no. If you hear the same things that you say to others, like no, my situation is different. I guess that's how everyone experiences it. But yeah, don't feel like I've done enough to warrant karmic support or something like that. And I've gotten a lot of help over the years to even make it this far in life. So yeah, I can't really ask for more. Even though I am still asking for more in a way, because this is another situation. It's like if I was entirely alone, I don't know what I would do. So even now, not like that. But yeah, I don't think that just not being intentionally mean or things like that. I don't think that's really that's not much. It's a lot more than many people do, but still, it's not quite enough. So yeah, there is just generally things that are more important traits and competencies that are more important. So even if in many other ways you are not good, even not even exemplary, just good, if you are in those few certain things you excel, then you are you are thriving. And again, I'm not trying to say any unfairness, or I'm not trying to say that I am not in this situation because of my own actions or inactions, because I am. But at the same time, I would still like a way out. I think that's also something that everyone can empathize with. I want a way out, or rather a way forward, because that's a bit of a higher bar. Way forward. And obviously it's not gonna be like a full moving forward in everything every day, only forward, never backwards, never a bad day, never not feeling that motivated. I guess motivation, you could say, is a lie, because you either do things or you don't do things. Motivation in itself is not much. Yeah, you actually have to do the things. So yeah, that is it. I guess I'm not gonna find the leaf. I mean, I could keep going. I have a bunch of potions, but yeah. And then one more thing is that if if I was someone that would like look to the universe for signs, like positive signs for things. There are there are signs, but in one way that could be, if looked at positively, those could be, you know things that show you that uh, there are good things, and you might even be part of those good things even going forward. But at the same time, you could also see it as the world goes on with or without me, and like those good things are there, but they don't need me to be a part of them, or like they will exist without me, which is, I suppose that's a good thing, right? Because it would be even bigger pressure if something is good only exists because of you, and then if you're not there to tend to the garden anymore, then it's gonna wilt, and that's it. So I suppose that is a good thing. But from like a personal selfish perspective, I would like to be part of those things. I would like to have at least some of my, I guess at this point it's more apt to call them dreams, even though they are probably like for some people they might just be goals, or something that is just like not that big of a deal. But I'm pretty down in many ways. So I don't know. I just hope I have a chance of moving forward. So yeah, sorry it was very doom and gloom, but that's just how it is right now. Yeah. Okay. Have a nice day. Bye bye.